Hello everybody. Today I want to show you how the GPS recordings of the new Garmin Fenix 5X compare to the GPS recording of the old Suunto Ambit 2, a watch that I've used for the last 4 or 5 years. I've been highly appreciative of it. I've been very satisfied. It has never let me down. The GPS accuracy of the Suunto was excellent. So I'm interested in what has happened 4 or 5 years further down the road. I assume that chipset has improved, that GPS accuracy will be much better as well. So in order to compare the old Suunto Ambit 2 and the Garmin Fenix 5X, let's move over here to the mygpsfiles.com app, a great tool to compare different GPS recordings. So then I move here first bike ride in. That on that ride I use both watches to track me and record the GPS track. So number one, what you see here is that the yellow or the orange line that Garmin is the Garmin watch, the blue line is the Suunto watch, that the Garmin with regard to elevation starts at an elevation of 244. Now that's simply wrong. The elevation of the starting position is roughly 220, and that's exactly what the Suunto gave me, 217. So when I look it up at the Google elevation data, the starting position was 220, and basically Suunto is spot on, and Garmin is more than 20 meters higher. So that's a problem right here. Now, when we zoom into the ride itself, what you see here is, and it's representative for the entire ride, that we have two lines for the, let's go here to satellite, that we have two lines for the Suunto, an upper line and a bottom line. The upper line is the line where I left the starting position, and the bottom line is where I return to the starting position. So obviously two separate lines. I was always driving on the right side of the road. Well, if you look at the Garmin recordings, I'm usually on the middle of the road, and you'll see that elsewhere as well, on the middle of the road, and there is no really distinction between the leaving and returning line. Well, you see here a little bit of a difference, but basically it doesn't capture the fact that I'm riding on two different sides of the road, depending on whether I'm leaving the starting position or whether I'm returning to the starting position. So you see that anywhere basically. See, we always have these two lines with the Suunto. It's spot on. The Garmin makes me drive on the same side of the same position of the road, disregarding whether I'm leaving or returning. So when I was leaving, I was driving on the left side of the road, obviously. So that's just wrong, and there are also not two different tracks visible. It's only in some of the corners where you can see that there are actually two different lines. Here you see two different lines. So I'm not impressed at all here with the performance of the Garmin. Now, when it comes to corners, you see again that the Suunto is, although 4 or 5 years old, and much more spot on. So this is the side of the road I was cycling on when I was leaving the starting position. You see that it's nicely on the right side, and then this is a low traffic road. I usually don't take sharp corners, especially with the speed that I think I had like 35 kilometers per hour. So I take, big turns. So I start on the right side of the road, I take the turn, I end on the left side of the road, and then slowly move over to the right side. Now, the Suunto has it very well. Also, when I was returning, you see the same procedure. I start on the right side of the road, then I take a huge turn, and I continue on that side of the road. The Garmin makes you think that I took a 90-degree turn. I did not start the turn in the middle of the road, nor did I enter the road on the very right side of the road. especially with the speed. So that's just unrealistic. Now this is what you saw here is representative for basically the entire ride. Again, here you see the two typical lines of the Suunto, very well done. And the Garmin makes me cycle more or less on the middle of the road. Look at this, middle of the road. I was cycling on the very right side of the road, so that's not realistic. When you look at the corners again, the same problem. The Garmin has me do quite a sharp, edgy corner. I'm starting from more or less the middle of the road and enter the middle of the road. I'm not suicidal. This is not what I did. I was starting on the right side of the road and then took a turn into the right side of the next road. The same here for the returning line. This is where I start. I take a big turn. I end on this side. The Garmin makes you think that I was cycling in the middle of the road. I did a turn and then continued on the left side of the road, so that's not what I did. So this is just a short impression on the bike ride records that I received from both the Garmin and the Fenix. This is a funny one. This is high traffic area. You see this? There are in total 6 lanes on this road. I was cycling into Barron Springs on the right side, obviously on the right side of the road. I was cycling out, obviously on the right side of the road, since I didn't want to be run over by cars or trucks, as you see here. The Garmin makes you think that I was riding into the city as well as out of the city in the very middle of the road. That's just not realistic. Now, you might think perhaps there was some post-production going on when I uploaded the Garmin Fenix GPS file into Garmin Connect, so that they tweaked it a bit according to the map data that they have. But that cannot be the case, because I compared the fit track that is in the watch before it has been uploaded to Garmin Connect. So to say Garmin Connect post-production taking place in exactly the same data. So it's truly the watch who just doesn't get it right here. All right, so let's move on to a trail run to show you the difference here. So we have the Garmin again in orange and the Suunto in blue. You see that the starting position of the run was up here. You see that the Garmin is again, although I calibrated it just before the run, I calibrated it. It is about what is that? 10 meters, at least 10 meters higher, which is unrealistic. Suunto is correct here. So the height of this spot is 240 above sea level. And Garmin makes you think that it's actually 252, so we're about 12 meters above what realistically should be the case. Now, when I zoom into the recordings here, we see a similar behavior. I did, when I ran the corner here, I indeed moved to the left side of the road. It's a low traffic road, and then I took a wide corner. So this is exactly what the Suunto does. I didn't cut the corner, nor did I start from the left and end on the left side of the road. Then here as well, the Suunto line is the more realistic line. The Garmin is off here. I did see that the Garmin was better when we entered into some areas where we had a little bit more trees. So this is a lot of trees here, and it might have compromised the GPS reception of the Suunto. You see the blue line of the Suunto is very realistic here. Actually, I was indeed running on the middle of the road here. I wasn't running on the left side of the road. So far we are good. Then here we get the trees. You see that both struggle. Both are somehow moving to the left side of the road. And here, from this point on, the Garmin is more realistic. But that's kind of an exception, because with all the rest, usually Suunto is on top of accuracy. So obviously Suunto is off here. I'm running here on the grass, but I was running on the gravel road. Then also here in the trees, it gets off. I'm first running on the left and on the right side of the road. I'm running on the grass. No, the Garmin is correct here. So, well, I hope that this has helped you to see the differences between the two watches. I think as far as what I've seen specifically with the watches I have, namely the Suunto Ambit 2 and the Garmin Fenix 5X, that if you want the best precise GPS data, you have to go with the Suunto watch. At least I can say that for the Suunto Ambit 2. I know that the Suunto Ambit 3 as well as the Spartan have been similarly impressive, at least from what I see on the web. And I'm quite disappointed here about the Garmin Fenix 5X performance. It should have done better. So I'm running on firmware 2.9, which is the latest stable version. So I'm not sure whether there's something wrong with my watch or whether this is just a general performance issue that the Garmin watches, so the Fenix watches, seem to have. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video and it helps you to make a decision about what type of watch you should go for. See you.